We are building a model railroad from scratch. We have already finished a lot during our last episodes. We have unpacked an ICE starter set and got everything else out too. Enough tracks for an oval rail circle with 2 turnouts. We have digitalized both turnouts with an installation decoder and an electric turnout mechanism. We have started with the illumination. You can already see some lights. All of our turnout lanterns are shining. Here's one. There's a small lantern. Here's one too. And there is another small lantern as well. We have connected the lanterns to a light transformer, which I have installed here. I'd used the transformer by Faller, but I may as well could have used one this from Fissmann. And of course, you may as well take the Märklin transformer if you still have that one at home. This one was used to control the velocity of the model trains in the past. You can turn everything on and off with it, and you can use it as lighting transformer as well. Doesn't matter which one you choose. All we need are 16 volts for the light. We want to save electricity. If we draw all the electricity for our illumination from the tracks, then the electricity would run low at some point. For this reason, I have installed a separate lighting transformer. We also finished our ring circuit for the lighting. The wire goes around and we have tidied up everything a little bit as well. All the wires run in a 90-degree angle. That way we always know where the wires are running. We did the same thing for the color red and brown, our track current. For this we have created a cross-shaped or more a star-shaped circuit. I guess this is what it will look like now until all the test drives are finished. Next tasks will be the signals. After that we will start arranging our first houses and of course the landscaping. But as long as everything looks as pretty as this, let's do a test drive. Today we will beautify our ICE a bit. I let it drive over to me, passing by the first turnout. Let me show this to you briefly. Here you can see it very nicely. I'm switching over. Here you can see the ICE2 with all the functions. And this one is for turning on the lights. And this one is for the sound effects. And with this button we can choose the driving sounds. We can now slowly take the train for the first lap. I'll stop here for a moment. What you can see here is we can also work the turnouts with the mobile station. Let's press this button for the accessories at the right side. Now a keyboard is displayed showing all kind of digital addresses. I can switch to red, green on a turnout. Red means on a turnout D like divergent and green is straight. If I press the button, I can work the first turnout. That's this turnout right here, which is worked electrically right now with the mobile station. That's because I have selected the third turnout here on the keyboard. I can use these 2 buttons to switch between different turnouts. So right now I'm working on the first turnout, which is leading into the train station over here. If I drive back my ICE, I can do that at the same time. I can change the driving direction and I can drive my ICE up to the mountain. I drive it to the outer track since the turnout is set. We could do some shunting. I will work the second turnout now and set the turnouts inwards. The IC is moving in from the other side and passing over to the track in the middle. The turnout must be set straight because it is too narrow for the ICE here. But it can drive around very nicely. We can work a different turnout and send the ICE to a diverging track. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Now it should work. So, enough space for the ICE here. I turn off the sound and light effects and we will let it park here for now. I could easily drive a second train. We could move it to the inward track. We do have a little bit of space here. If we have a small train, we could even do some shunting with it. Let's see if I have a small locomotive here. I'm looking quickly for one, just a second, a small one. I do have a small steam locomotive here from the good old times. I put it on the track right here. It will be recognized automatically by the mobile station. Let's wait for a short moment. I did not use it on this model railroad. It is a visitor. It will be recognized through the MFX function. And in just one moment, we will see it here as a second locomotive. Let's see if it works. We should see it when we press the shift button. There it is, called the 094. It also has various functions, even a steam effect. On top of that, it also has a telex coupling, which means you can couple and uncouple the wagons. Now comes the hard part. Not even do I have to drive back the locomotive, I also have to set the turnout correctly beforehand. That should be the fourth turnout. Yes, it is. Now we move the locomotive backwards. I can move over there and then we can drive it to this track and park it here. So that's how you can control several trains at the same time with one mobile station. You can use up to 4 trains at the same time with full sound and light effects, and you should not have any power issues. Plus, up to 40 locomotives can be saved on the mobile station. That should provide variety. Well, we put the steam locomotive back to the depot for now, because we will continue with the ICE2 here. We will upgrade it with a little something that I found at the store yesterday. We put some passengers in. I found something at Preiser. Here we have seated passengers, and I have also found different train conductors. Our train should not be a ghost train. We do want real train conductors to control our train. First, I turn off the model railroad. Now we separate the power heads. We will take only this one in order to demonstrate it for you. We put this aside. And here at the front is room for our train conductor. And back here is more than enough room for lots of passengers sitting inside. We do have to be a bit careful so that we don't break anything when we open the train. The ICE2 has several opening points. Here at the front, for example, you can carefully take out that part. You have to know that, but it's also described in the instruction manual. We take out our snout down, and it does look funny now, but we are able to open this now. And at the back of the train, we can take off the complete cover. You can already look inside the train. And now the hull is separated from the top part. So now we can have a look and carefully separate both parts. Carefully lift it, not too much strength. It should open smoothly. If it doesn't, you're doing it wrong. So be careful while separating. Right here at the side, separate it. That would be a shame. I'm super careful now to make sure I don't break anything, because that would be a shame. Now at the front a little more. Well, of course, here at the side as well. Too tight. I opened it before the show. I guess I put it back together too tight. Demonstration effect. I promised that. I told my colleague before the show there will be a demonstration effect. Now here it is. A little more on the other side. It is supposed to be difficult to open. That way it will not open by accident. Well, now with a little care we can open it. The train is open. We have room for many passengers now. Interesting to see what such a train looks like from the inside. Here, for example, a heavy weight to make sure the train stays on track and doesn't wobble around. It must not be loose. Let's tighten it again. Here at the front is the LED lighting and everything else you need for the connection. There is the grinder. That's what the ICE looks like from the inside. We can put it back on the track, or even more important, we can use such a locomotive cushion. I bought one. It lays much more safer on that. You can find such foam cushions from different manufacturers. We will place our ICE right on here while we work on it. Now that's perfect. Our train conductor does have very little room in the front. As you can see, there is no room for our train conductor because that's where all the electronics are. Our train conductor hides inside the locomotive in the front. We have to pull him out of there, but very careful. Do not simply pull it down, but slide it sideways. Then you can easily put out the whole train conductor's seat set. You can see here the train conductor control desk. We put this aside. Next task, we have to decide which one of the characters we will take. Let's make some more room here. Let's see what's inside here. We have here the number 10589. That's the so-called train driver assortment. It contains a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 train conductors. What's missing is a female train conductor. Okay, the character with the tie looks just like an original ICE train conductor. Or what do you think? We do have one with a hat. That's an option. We have one here wearing an orange colored vest, ready to drive back to the depot. I choose the one with the red tie. He will be our train conductor. Next, let's see if he fits in there. Sometimes the characters are a little bit too big. You can see, for example, that's one with rather large feet. He doesn't really fit in there. Let's try the other one. See if he fits in better there. Maybe his feet are shorter. Well, his feet are even longer. It seems, oh dear, I think we have to perform a surgery. We have two options now. Either we cut off his feet or we clip the driver's seat a bit. I would prefer the foot surgery. That way I can leave the seat as it is. But we will take this character. Let's check the other characters. Will they fit, or do we have to perform some kind of anatomical corrections? Some manufacturers sell half characters. You get characters without feet. That would be pretty good in this situation because they could also be sitting on the platform. That's an idea for later. We have this fella with the briefcase. Let's put him back on the tracks. We could let him sit here, for example. He fits in there pretty much. We have to cut the feet. That could work. We have this young woman here. She could sit here at the side. We take these small tweezers so you can reach everything. We will only place them for now without any glue. Later I will glue them on the seats. This one fits just perfect. This one can still travel with the children's ticket. We let it sit here. The legs are too long. The legroom in the seats with the tables in front is even smaller. Just like in real life, we place it here. We could let them sit right at the window. I would recommend not to let them sit at all at the window because it just looks better when they sit more inside the train. What about this one? He's reading the newspaper. We let him sit in the back, but also not at the window. We let sit him at the side. They all fit in there quite fine. I'm not sure about this one. Let's see where we can place it. Maybe we let it sit at the platform. Legs are way too long. Here's another character. We can let it sit, well, here's a good spot at the side. It has long legs as well. Let's put it back for now. This one is reading the newspaper. It would be nice if someone is sitting at the window reading a newspaper. It is big as well. You have to find out what you like. He's sitting at an angle, looking good that way, with his legs crossed. Very realistic, a passenger sitting in the train that way. Just acting if the whole train belongs to him. Blocking everything, just splendid. Okay, he will sit there at the side. So what do we do with our train conductor? Well, we will clip the feet right now. Let's see, how much shorter do we need them? We have to cut them off to the knees. What do we use for that? Well, we could take a knife or scissors or pliers or a side cutter. I usually prefer as little band-aid as possible on my hand, so let's not take the scissors. This tool here might work, but it is just too sharp. The side cutter will do the job. We can clip it in no time. I do that right now. A little bit of leg clipping. And that's the first leg. And that's leg number 2. You could paint it black a little bit to hide the right breaking point. Looks small now. We could try out if he can sit in there. And our train conductor fits in here just perfectly. And it's already very tight. We might not even have to glue it. But I will do it anyways, to make sure he will stay there for the next years. Here's on a slightly longer shift now. So, should I glue the butt or should I glue the seat? It makes no difference. I just use a tiny amount of glue and I take the tweezers and carefully place him in there. Now hold it for a second. That should hold now. We let it dry now. In the meanwhile, I can glue the other passengers to their seats. And the opening part is exactly the same with the other train wagon. Always take off the cover in the back and hold the other side. And then lift the top part, separate it from the hull. It's a little bit more complicated with the power heads since you have to take off the snouts at the front. But now you have seen how it is done. It is not that hard. You can easily do that yourselves. Just remember, don't use too much glue, otherwise it will drip. We can also apply some glue to the shoulder and to the seat. That way our passengers sits tight. Our broadly sitting passenger with the newspaper gets some glue as well, to make sure he's lounging around, does not get interrupted. Now he's moving around a little bit too much. Demonstration effect again. He must sit there now. I press him tight to the seat. He's in position now. And the fourth character in the train. I will save the other characters for the other wagons. As you can see, you can combine different equipment. I'm using a glue by Faller and the characters by Preiser. You can also use different glues as well, and characters are available from other manufacturers too. There's a huge selection. Just do a little research online. I'm pretty sure you will find something on the manufacturer's websites. This woman's feet are still a bit too long. I'll clip them too while the glue is not yet dry. Alright, I'm very sorry for the pretty shoes, but they were too big. And now it fits. Yes, very nice. We have placed some characters and it is the same thing with the rest of them. And the leftover characters will be seated right at the platform. That way we have some passengers sitting around there. We will save them for later for one of our next episodes. Next we have to close our train again and the glue container as well, or it will dry out. There is the sealing cap. This is sealed. Let's get rid of the feet before they fall onto the tracks. I'll tidy this up later. I always tidy up later. Now we carefully put back our train conductor into the locomotive. I'll show you. It should be dry by now. And if not, bad luck. And now I heard a click. Cute. Look, he's sitting there. I think you can see it. He is sitting in there. We will leave this be and we will carefully put that back on top. Let's see if it works. Looking good. It should click any minute. Carefully press a little bit. Not yet. Did I miss anything? Putting it back together is as hard as opening it. Now I got it. I had to press a little bit harder. A little back there and here and there, it snapped into place. It rattled. One woman fell down. Well, we have to open it again. Well, we'll leave it like that. We managed the woman had to lay down. You see, I was in quite a rush. Best is to wait long enough for the glue to dry. A few hours or one day and you should be fine. Now put the snout back there. You can orientate on the red line. Now it's on there. Same thing on the back side. This goes down there. That's where the coupling is attached. Now we clean the windows. If you clean it with a glass cleaning cloth, don't shake it too much or the passengers get sick. Now we put the whole thing back on the tracks. Connect it. Well, looking good. We can put away the foam cushion. If we did everything right, we can turn the mobile station back on and we can let the ICE do a lap. I did something wrong. Well, move it, of course. It cannot be on 2 tracks at once. All right, looking very good. And the reason it didn't work is because I'm still connected with my steam locomotive. Simply press the shift button on the mobile station to turn the knob to the left and switch to the other train. Now we are controlling the ICE2. It is driving now, but not smooth. Back there it is off the tracks. Now it's back on. And now we can do a joyride with our ICE and our train conductor. Turn on the sound. And it stops in the train station exactly where the turnout was set correctly. We can continue our work, so what's still missing? Right here we need a signal, and here we also need a signal. Over there should be a signal as well, and also over here. That's a place for a signal as well. We can still build up signals in huge numbers. There are no limits. I've already prepared some. We can build these up in one of our next episodes. And then it is time for the houses. I have a lot planned for the next episodes. We do need a train station. I want that to stand here. We do have time and room for a farm and also a bridge here, maybe with some water, and I'm planning and choosing which houses fits best. I'm planning here a small town. Our ICE is almost too oversized for that, but it's okay, it can also pass by a small town. So railroad development works. We will do all of that in our next episodes. So stay tuned. If you have any questions about building a model railroad, ask them in the comment section. We will answer all of them, and we are happy to help you to build your dream model railroad system. Have fun by recreating it yourselves, and see you in the next episodes. Bye bye.